and in one of the most climactic moments in history, burned at the stake. Or was she? Although the events took place over 550 years ago, the history of Joan of Arc is documented in archives such as these, here in the City Hall of Orleans. And facts preserved here contradict the legend that Joan was a simple, uneducated peasant girl. In poring over records such as these, many French historians have concluded that Joan of Arc was actually the illegitimate daughter of Queen Isabeau of France, that she was well educated, and that the prince she had fought so bravely to put on the throne of France was her half-brother. Joan of Arc was not a simple country girl. She was of royal blood. All the records agree on certain points. Joan of Arc did lead an army. She did defeat the English. She was captured, and she did stand trial. But if Joan of Arc was burned at the stake, then these official records are wrong. It says here that Joan was given 210 pounds of gold in recognition of her service to the city of Orleans during the siege. She received the gift on August 1st, 1439. That's over 8 years after she had supposedly been burned at the stake. Someone was burned to death on that day long ago, but scholars are convinced that it was not Joan of Arc. The facts support the theory. The victim's identity was hidden by a heavy veil, and the execution, contrary to custom, was conducted in secrecy. Historians believe that another anonymous victim of the Inquisition was substituted for Joan of Arc. She was, after all, the half-sister of a king. Her royal blood protected her. She was secretly led to safety, and later she married a gentleman named Robert des Armoises and lived to be about 40 years old. She was buried in the small village of Pouligny under a gravestone marked Madame Joan des Armoises, otherwise known as Joan of Arc. Nearly 400 years ago, William Shakespeare, in his play Henry VI, had Joan of Arc emphatically declare she was of royal blood. Today, many French historians agree that Shakespeare was right. Believe it or not?
I smoke, but at many fast food restaurants, it's not on the menu. So I've got an order of my own, Wrigley Spearmint Gum. It's got a cool, clean taste that everyone enjoys. So when I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Sure, I love Dow's Smart Scrub. It rinses clean without the gritty residue. But what they need is a bleach formula for stains. Oh, never mind.
Presenting new Smart Scrub Cleanser with bleach.
Smart enough to clean up after itself.
What's the big deal with burgers? Compared to Subway's 6-inch cold cut combo for just $1.69, they're no big deal. And for something beyond compare, there's our foot-long cold cut combo. Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Sure, I have secrets. Of course, some are juicier than others. Like my secret for onion burgers. Lipton Recipe Secrets Onion. A delicious blend of toasted onion and seasonings. Lipton Recipe Secrets. I'm a better cook with it than without it.
I smoke, but when I'm shopping, it's not part of the bargain. So I bought into something else. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. It has a cool, clean taste I can take anywhere I shop. So when I can't smoke, I bring along pure chewing satisfaction.
Welcome to the Dominion.
The gateway to the world of science fiction on the internet. Catch it on the World Wide Web. The Sci-Fi Channel welcomes you to the edge.
You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not on the Sci-Fi Channel.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was hosting my first big business dinner, and I paid with my Visa card. Turns out I was over my limit. I was so embarrassed, I didn't know what to do. So I got the American Express card, and it never happened again.
Call 1-800-THE-CARD. We can take your application right over the phone.
Applying for the card was one of the easiest things I've ever done, and smartest. And anyone who's ever gone anywhere knows it. I have a place to cash checks, get my mail, and get help when I need it.
My dad said the minute you get a job, get an American Express card. He said, trust me on this one. I've gone everywhere with it. And here's a tip. Sign up for membership miles, and everything you charge on the card will earn you program miles, so you can keep on traveling.
So call now for the American Express card. You can apply right over the phone.
It's really worth it.
It helped not having a preset limit.
I got cash on the go.
I can call 24 hours a day. That helps.
Go anywhere, and it's with you all the way.
Don't delay. Just dial 1-800-THE-CARD.
This is probably one of the best-known portraits in America. The face on the $1 bill, George Washington. A stern look, strong jaw, and strangely pouting lips. All symptoms of a major dental problem. Stated as simply as possible, when this portrait was made, the father of our country didn't have any teeth. Except for dentures like this. They're set in lead and held together by steel springs. They probably weren't very comfortable, and they weigh about 1/3 of a pound. They're quite a mouthful. The teeth are hand-carved. The top teeth came out of the mouth of a cow. This is an authentic recreation made by Dr. Radar Songness, the founding dean of the School of Dentistry here at UCLA. And this is a reproduction of George Washington's last tooth. It wiggled loose in 1791 when the first president was 59 years old. Until then, it had been used to anchor various dentures, none of which, by the way, were made of wood. This plaster of Paris face mask shows the way Washington actually looked before he lost his teeth. Perhaps the saddest thing about George Washington's teeth happened to them long after he was dead and no longer needed them. His best and most expensive dentures were made out of elephant and hippopotamus ivory and set in gold. Until 1981, they were on display at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. And then somebody stole them, which is one more reason for the lack of a smile on George Washington's face. Teeth. To most of us, they're just something we chew with. But in Central Africa, among the pygmy peoples, teeth are considered a mark of manhood because they have been reshaped into sharp, pointed fangs. This radical bit of dentistry is performed on young boys as a form of initiation into adult society. It's crude and unhygienic, and anesthetics are not employed. This strange rite of passage is one of the most important events in the life of a pygmy youth. If he can bear the ordeal without flinching, he'll win the respect of all. For the rest of his life, a pygmy's courage on this day of agony will be recalled to the world each time he smiles. Teeth are fragile, but also, fortunately, replaceable. Making artificial teeth is nowadays a complex, sophisticated business. This plant in Pennsylvania turns out over 225,000 teeth every day. Porcelain teeth are molded from powdered rock and minerals and then baked at more than 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. When finished, they're lifelike in appearance and, of course, they never develop cavities. Picking matching sets of teeth to fill dentists' orders is a mind-boggling task. There are literally thousands of different combinations of shapes and colors for each tooth in the human mouth. Here at the Dentsply factory, one of the world's largest, a stock of over 16 million teeth await the mouths that need them. Fresno, California. Some artificial teeth find their way to this laboratory, which creates customized crowns. Dave DeRue, artist and dental technician, will paint almost any image his clients request. The paint itself is porcelain-based, and, when complete, the tiny pictures are baked on. But unlike tattoos, they can be easily removed if a customer later changes his mind. And most painted teeth are the ones in back that people can display only when they want to. This tooth art began as a joke about 5 years ago. But today, the demand is strong. It seems that everyone wants something in their mouths that's close to their hearts.
I have a porcelain crown, and it's got 3 flowers on it. And I got them because I think it's neat. They're pretty. And it's different.
I have a P-38 aircraft, and I flew these planes in World War II, and they always brought me back.
Decorated or not, no two people have identical mouths. Teeth are like fingerprints, and sometimes serve useful, if rather morbid, purposes. This is an X-ray of the sort of dental work that was done some 40-odd years ago in the mouth of one of the world's most infamous dictators, Adolf Hitler. The work is as distinctive as a signature and provided proof that the charred remains of a corpse found outside a bunker in Berlin in 1945 was, in fact, Adolf Hitler. In the climactic hours of World War II in Europe, Russian troops raced to seize Hitler's Berlin bunker, and they hoped to capture him alive. The bunker, however, was abandoned, and no trace of Germany's supreme leader was found. But in a courtyard nearby, there were charred human remains. There was no immediate proof of who this dead man was. His body was burnt beyond recognition, but his teeth survived. Here's a model of Hitler's elaborate dental work based on X-rays and charts of his dentist. In particular, there's a reconstruction of his unusual gold-framed front tooth and the strange bridgework in his lower jaw. The bridgework was installed by Hugo Blaschke. He had been Hitler's dentist for 11 years. He was a graduate of one of the world's leading schools of dentistry, the University of Pennsylvania. This drawing shows a cutaway version of Hitler's dental work. Believe it or not. To keep them in good health, some sheep in Great Britain have been fitted with false teeth. Believe it or not.
Being married to a dentist, we're always getting free samples of toothpaste. But what do? I buy Mentadent.
Mentadent has all 3 ingredients dentists recommend most for the care of teeth and gums.
Fluoride, baking soda, and peroxide. These are the ingredients my husband recommends. On your toothbrush, into your mouth, as you're brushing, you can feel bubbles everywhere. Hundreds of bubbles all over your mouth, giving you a fresh, clean feeling. Mentadent's accepted by the American Dental Association. My husband would never recommend a product that wasn't.
So we're in line for the new ride. Are you chicken? Not exactly.
Sure, it looks scary, but this might crunch up your confidence.
The captain comes through again.
Like the way my crunch stands up to milk. Like the sweet taste that never lets you down.
Nothing can stop us now. Bobby! One more time, Captain. I want to go home.
Cap'n Crunch cereal is the sweet, crunchy part of this balanced breakfast.
You and the captain make it happen.
So rich and creamy.
Say, Grandpa.
So lightly baked.
Grandpa.
No wonder no other cracker melts like a Ritz.
Mommy?
Ritz melts so good.
Worried you might have termites? Call 1-800-TERMINEX to know for sure.
Where's that number?
Nobody offers a better guarantee. Even if you've misplaced our number, just remember 1-800-TERMINEX. Call now.
It happens in the hospital. It happens at home. It's the onset of heartburn. It's an attack of acid indigestion. For these stomach flare-ups, the #1 choice of hospitals is Maalox. Hospitals know that nothing works faster to rush heartburn relief. Now, you know it too. Fast-acting Maalox. Hospitals can count on it for speed, and that's just what you need. Maalox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for home.
You are entering the universe of Sci-Fi Entertainment, the official magazine of the Sci-Fi Channel. Call 1-800-77-SCI-FI for movie and series info, interviews, news and reviews on videos, books, and technology. It's your only source for the Sci-Fi schedule, movie listings, and channel exclusives. Test your mental metal. Call 1-800-77-SCI-FI. Get 6 issues of Sci-Fi Entertainment for only $15.95. Have your Visa or MasterCard ready. Welcome to the Edge. Mark Hamill and Ray Dawn Chong star in a Sci-Fi Channel premiere feature. Time Runner, Saturday at 4, 1 Pacific.
On land and in the water, people will risk their lives in the most amazing contraptions. Take this little beauty. Floats like a dream. It's a real sports model. Custom built and used only once. It's lined with rubber inner tubes to soften the ride, which on July 15th, 1961 was very rough. Rocks in the river nearly stove her in and left this dent. But the rider inside remained safe. His name was William Fitzgerald, and he called this creation of his the Plungosphere, with good reason, because on that July day, here in Canada, William Fitzgerald and the Plungosphere traveled along that river to a point about 2 miles from here, and then plunged over Niagara Falls, a drop of more than 170 feet. Fitzgerald survived, and then he just walked away from the publicity and any possible profit. And to this day, people wonder exactly why he felt compelled to take his death-defying ride. Maybe it was simply because it was there. The wild ride at Niagara, perhaps the world's most famous stunt. One Niagara pioneer was the heroic William Red Hill. His hair-raising passages in a wooden barrel through the treacherous Niagara Rapids brought him fame in the 1920s. Hill never attempted the falls themselves. declaring the stunt far too dangerous. But in 1951, huge crowds gathered to see Red Hill Jr. attempt the challenge his father had declined. Eluding police who tried to stop him, Hill disappeared into the torrent. Unbelievably, Red Hill Jr. had gone over the falls in a craft so flimsy it immediately broke into pieces. His battered body was found the following day. The challenges of nature may seem mild compared with the ordeals man invents for himself. In this outlandish Japanese elimination contest, some 500 university students compete to see who can suffer most for the longest time. Submerged in a giant pool, they breathe through funnels. This is not too difficult until fire hoses begin to cut off the supply of air. Powdered hot pepper now rains down into the funnels and into the remaining contestants' burning lungs. All but 30 are eliminated, and these few will tour the Far East. In each new country, they'll face a different ordeal. In Hong Kong, they'll encounter what's called a glutton's hell. A banquet is prepared, including such appetizers as whole frogs, pig's feet, and assorted animal entrails. Each contestant must gain almost 5 pounds on this novel fare, eating non-stop without relief. Pigeons broiled with heads and feet intact add to the savory occasion, and the whole spectacle is seen on television back home in Japan, where it's popular entertainment. A few more contestants drop out, but most make it to Singapore and the ordeal of the bats. In Singapore's botanical garden, they're hung upside down in plastic bat costumes. It's only ridiculous and a bit uncomfortable. They don't know what's coming next. 10 giant cockroaches will be let loose inside their costumes, and the entire area simultaneously wreathed in acrid smoke. Logically enough, people with roaches have to be fumigated.
3, 2, 1. ポケットからゴキブリが悪魔悪魔悪魔
For some, the roaches are too much.
ゴキブリが死んでおります。
On to Bangkok, where new delights are in store. Here, the task is simple, but the consequences are painful. You've got to hold on to the elephant as he passes over rough wooden logs, gravel pits, and mud holes. More fall by the wayside, and the field is rapidly narrowing. The final, and perhaps the most diabolical test, faces the last 2 contestants on the island of Bali. These plastic hothouses have roofs made of magnifying lenses. The temperature soon exceeds 125 degrees Fahrenheit. They are not allowed to drink, but delicious temptations are paraded before them. It's like a parody of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Relief is just seconds away, but he who gives in is a loser despite all he has suffered for so long. One sip of beer and it's all over.
頼みます。両方飲んでください。お願いします。飲みました。
In an orgy of emotion, the contest comes to an end. Hailed as the most macho man in all Japan, the winner can now relax and enjoy the grand prize, a 6-day, all-expenses-paid vacation on the beaches of Hawaii. Believe it or not.
As part of his act, stuntman Edward Gibson had 60 pins stuck into his face and body. Believe it or not.
Sure, I love Dow's Smart Scrub. It rinses clean without the gritty residue. But what they need is a bleach formula for stains. Oh, never mind.
Presenting new Smart Scrub Cleanser with bleach.
Smart enough to clean up after itself.
For younger-looking skin, you've never seen anything like it. It was discovered at the Pond's Institute. Pond's Skin Smoothing Capsules. Containing essential lipids, it retexturizes your skin in seconds. Pond's Skin Smoothing Capsules.
When you're outside and you want bugs gone, now there's an off that you don't put on. Now there's an off that starts with a light, so you can enjoy a delightful night. Hey, hey.
New off citronella candles with a unique country fresh scent. They're the bright new way to keep bugs away. Just light them and let them do the rest.
When you want bugs as good as gone, try the new off that you don't put on.
New off citronella candles. S.C. Johnson Wax.
Well, I think we're about done.
Kids, go get Buddy. Okay.
As parents, we know the importance of building our children's financial future early.
That's why we started Globe Young American life insurance plans for each of our kids. It's a $10,000 modified whole life insurance policy designed for children and young adults.
$1 is all it costs to start this $10,000 policy, and it's as easy as calling this toll-free number.
Starting a Globe Young American plan now will protect your child's ability to be covered by life insurance as an adult.
Call this toll-free number now. You'll receive complete information and applications for Globe's Young American Plan by return mail.
Call Globe right now.
Where's Buddy? We can't find him anywhere. There he is!
For complete information and applications, call Globe today at 1-800-980-7070. Call 1-800-980-7070 now.
You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Return to the beginning and witness how legends are born. A first step into another dimension. The transformation of man into machine. The first disappearance of a sci-fi hero. The ultimate moonshot. An occult world from the man who created Star Trek. And the ultra-rare pilot of Lost in Space. All uncut, all part of the Sci-Fi Channel's 3rd annual Pilot Playhouse. June 3rd and 4th, beginning at 7 p.m. 4 Pacific.
What in the world?
Dad took it when you walked me to school that first day, remember?
It's amazing you didn't hate me forever for making you wear those galoshes.
You've always tried to protect me, Mom. That's why I bought that extra life insurance.
When Dad died, I found out a funeral can cost over $6,000. I never want to leave that kind of burden on you.
If you're a man or woman between the ages of 45 and 75, the Mutual of Omaha companies have a guaranteed life insurance plan that fits you perfectly. It can cost you as little as 29 cents a day, and it's guaranteed in 5 ways. Your payments will never increase. Your benefits will never decrease. There are no health questions. You don't even have to take a physical. You can't be turned down, and it can't be canceled, ever. Call toll-free for your free information. There's no risk or obligation. Call now, 1-800-932-9492. Operators are available. Call now, 1-800-932-9492.
In Israel, the parched hills rising above the eastern shore of the Dead Sea lead inevitably to the steep, scarred face of a mountain that has become a monument, Masada. At one time, it was a fortress, the last stronghold of a people determined to resist the conquering armies of ancient Rome. Hot, dry, desolate. We're on top of Masada. There isn't a spring or a well or a drop of water for miles. Yet, a city once stood here, and a king occupied a royal palace. There were fountains, gardens, elaborate baths. Created by a king's command, these dusty pools once contained a rare desert luxury. Enough water for everyone. It came from the sky, not very often, but when it did rain, not a drop was wasted. An ingenious system of dams and aqueducts captured the rain, collected it from rooftops and gutters, and funneled it into huge underground tanks. The result of this engineering was dramatic. Water would come gushing through those holes and fill up this gigantic cavern called a cistern. It is carved out of the solid rock of the mountain and is only one of more than a dozen located under the grounds of the ancient palace. This one holds more than 1 million gallons. Yet it could be filled up in less than an afternoon, not from a spring or a well, but simply by a rare but welcome rainfall. Believe it or not. Echoes of the past. They haunt ancient ruins like the temples of Karnak in Egypt. Near here, some 3,000 years ago, there once stood an even more awesome structure, the Temple of the Sun. But for mysterious reasons, it was totally destroyed, its inscribed building blocks broken into thousands of separate pieces. The lost temple was built by the pharaoh Akhenaten, who proclaimed himself a godchild of the sun and was always pictured amid its warming rays. Akhenaten's wife was the legendary beauty Nefertiti. But until recently, beyond these few cryptic facts, little was known. In 1965, however, archaeologist Ray Winfield Smith determined to reconstruct Akhenaten's temple and solve the mystery of its destruction. The task before him was awesome.
I realized immediately that if one or a group of men would try this enormous job of piecing together 35,000 blocks, it would take so long that it would never get done.
Undaunted, Smith put into action an audacious, almost unbelievable plan. He would photograph each one of the 35,000 stones that could have once been part of the lost temple. The blocks were spread throughout Egypt. Some were incorporated into other structures, and others lay forgotten in museum storerooms. A few were even found in Europe and America. But Smith's team working patiently for several years, eventually tracked down, photographed, and assigned a code number to every one of them. The images and designs on each block were then analyzed and encoded so that they could be fed to a computer. The computer performed a task that could have taken several lifetimes, listing all possible sets of matching blocks. With the computer's information at hand, Smith's analysts returned again to the photographs, trying each combination. Bit by bit, designs began to appear, often formed from blocks found miles apart, recreating scenes lost for over 3,000 years. A portrait of Akhenaten, surrounded by the rays of the sun. Gradually, the reconstruction expanded, filling in large sections of the temple walls. Though many blocks may never be found, there were enough so that an artist was able to fill in missing portions of the temple walls. One of the most complete and revealing parts of the reconstruction was a courtyard devoted entirely to Nefertiti. Clearly, her power and influence over Akhenaten was great. After 6 years, Ray Winfield Smith's dream is realized. The splendor of the Temple of the Sun flared into life once again. The power of Nefertiti dominated the Temple of the Sun. The temple decorations proved that she was regarded as a god. It seems likely that the temple was destroyed soon after her death. Jealous successors sought to erase her memory forever. Instead, Nefertiti's fame has endured. She could well have written one of the first hieroglyphs reconstructed by the computer. It read, "The god's heart is pleased." Truk Lagoon, a major Japanese naval base in World War II, and now a monument to the tragedy and futility of war. Beneath Truk's placid waters lie the hulks of more than 60 Japanese ships, sunk in a devastating series of Allied air raids in 1944. Amid the tangled refuse, there are the remains of hundreds upon hundreds of Japanese soldiers and sailors. Truk today is a thriving tourist center. Divers come here from all over the world to explore the wrecks. Despite protective laws, souvenirs are prized, some of them human bones. Now, from Japan, come other visitors, alarmed at the disturbance of their dead. In meetings with Truk officials, they request and receive permission to retrieve what they can. Many are relatives of men who died here. Expert Japanese salvage divers go to work. They hope to reach wrecks in deep water that have not yet been picked over by curiosity seekers. Some ships sunk here with terrifying suddenness. Hundreds were trapped in large groups below decks. Only now is their terrible fate revealed. The remains of nearly 400 bodies are recovered from 5 ships by this expedition. Most of the dead were anonymous, their remains forever mixed with their comrades. But a few have name tags or personal effects that allow identification. Some were young conscripts, raw teenagers who died here just a few months after leaving home for the first time. Mass cremations performed on truck bring mourners from Japan. The remaining ashes will be carried home. Many Japanese believe that only then will the spirits of their dead find final peace. Constructed over 4,700 years ago, the Elephantine Road in Egypt is the oldest highway in the world. Believe it or not.
Got something different for your sensitive teeth.
Well, you can take it back. My dentist wants me to use Sensodyne.
This is Sensodyne. Sensodyne with baking soda.
No pain. My mouth feels fresh and clean.
Sensodyne with baking soda. All you feel is fresh and clean.
Observe. Dry eyes. Red eyes. Symptoms for which science created Clear Eyes. Unlike the other leading eye drop, Clear Eyes removes redness and as an ingredient to moisturize. The difference is clear. Clear Eyes.
Hey, it's a great day for popcorn fish or chicken. It's big fish. Delicious bite-sized pieces of crispy, all-white fish or chicken for you. Can you pop them? Pop them, slam them, dunk them. How about a hook?
New popcorn fish or chicken, just $1.99 for a quarter pound in fries at Long John Silver's.
Where great fish is a big deal. Who says big fish can't jump? Hi, Fitz!
Sure, I love Dow's Smart Scrub. It rinses clean without the gritty residue. But what they need is a bleach formula for stains. Oh, never mind.
Presenting new Smart Scrub Cleanser with bleach.
Smart enough to clean up after itself.
So rich and creamy.
Say, Grandpa.
So lightly baked.
Grandpa.
No wonder no other cracker melts like a Ritz.
Mommy?
Ritz melts so good.
Part man, part weapon, all bionic action. The $6 Million Man on the Sci-Fi Channel. Today at 6/3 Pacific.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed central air conditioning. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, and no payments until August with the Sears Charge Home Improvement Plan. Call now for a free in-home estimate on a Kenmore air conditioning system. State-of-the-art engineering means greater energy efficiency. A new Kenmore could save 10 to 44% on your annual cooling costs. In time, even pay for itself. Sears also offers fast emergency installation, a 5-year warranty on parts and labor, plus our satisfaction guarantee. And you know Sears will be there to back it up. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, no payments until August. Offer ends May 31st, so call now and see the cool side of Sears.
So what's the paper say about tomorrow?
Another scorcher.
Cool.
Here in San Francisco, this ordinary building has some extraordinary contents. A collection of the strange, the bizarre, and the unexpected with a lifelong work of Robert L. Ripley. All of these items are on display here at the San Francisco Ripley Museum. Of them all, this is the only one that I would advise you not to believe. An authentic mummified Fiji mermaid. It was added to the Ripley collection almost 50 years ago. But before that, it may have been exhibited by another collector of curiosities, one P.T. Barnum, the gentleman who invented the phrase, "There's a sucker born every minute." Barnum claimed it was the skeleton of an actual mermaid, but not our Mr. Ripley. He realized that the Fiji mermaid was created by a charlatan by sewing together the top part of a monkey to the bottom part of a fish. And Mr. Ripley called it exactly what it is, the world's greatest fake. Well, fake mermaid anyway. There are no fakes, but a wealth of genuine oddities here at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. Visitors marvel at the intricate and exotic collection of animal skeletons on display here. Few know how these exhibits have been prepared. The skeletons are beautifully mounted and articulated, and they're exquisitely clean, thanks to some very strange goings-on behind the scenes. Carcasses like this small whale come to the Smithsonian from all over the world. Cutting off the flesh is hard, smelly, and distasteful labor. And even when the bones are separated, every scrap of tissue must be removed. With an estimated 20,000 mammal skeletons already here for research purposes, and more arriving every day, the grisly work piles up at a frightening pace. But when the bones still have a lot of meat left on them, help is on the way. Museum technician Jeremy Jacobs.
When we get an animal, we cut them into smaller pieces, and then we take as much meat off as possible. When we've gotten as much meat off as possible, like this skull here, we then send it into the bugs for the bugs to do the rest.
In this sealed and closely guarded room, there is a colony of up to several million domestic beetles, among the most voracious creatures on Earth. Scientists have never found a better way to clean bones than letting these beetles have their way. They work, that is, they eat, around the clock. They never strike or complain. And for them, work is good.
When the beetle colony is up to snuff and the beetles are in a high population, we can move a rhinoceros in and out of this room in about 2 weeks. In other words, we can bring them in with meat on them and 2 weeks later bring out clean bones.
When there are a lot of bones to clean, the beetles breed faster and expand the labor force. When the food supply tapers off, the beetle population does too. They just turn around and eat each other up. Much has been said about bloated Washington payrolls, but bones in this museum are a reminder that millions do their work merely for their own satisfaction. Another amazing display is here in the heart of Hong Kong, where there's a shop that sells luxury goods for the dead. According to Chinese belief, the material needs of the deceased may be satisfied by elaborate paper replicas. So, to honor a departed ancestor, one may buy him a 2-story mansion, complete with a telephone, an electric fan, and a smartly decorated game room with a console TV. Of course, in Hong Kong, as in the rest of the world, cars are important, preferably chauffeur-driven. And then there's the most important paper goods of all, lots and lots of phony money. At a funeral, the anniversary of a death, and on special holidays, ceremonies are performed to gain the attention of the departed. Then the parade of gifts begins, carried to a special corner of the cemetery where they will be lifted up to heaven. When they're burned, it's believed they rise with the smoke, to the spirit world above. Even these paper luxuries aren't cheap. A fine house or sports car can cost up to $100. And the thoughtful send paper money as well. The people of Hong Kong feel you need a lot of cash for upkeep, even in the world of the dead. Another traditional and ancient custom has been revived in New Mexico by 73-year-old Gordon Wimsett. Wimsett has adopted an old Apache Indian practice. He predicts the weather by studying the properties of animal fats rendered into thin oils.
This one's bear. This one next to it is seal. And this one's human. And this one's chicken, this one's turtle, and this one here is mountain sheep. People have asked me how accurate this weather prediction is with the oils, and I've been hitting about 90%.
Wimsett got his human fat from a friend who lost some in surgery as a result of a car accident. But he thinks bear fat is a better weather predictor. The secret of success lies in careful preparation as the fat is made into oil. When the oil is prepared, he exposes it to outside air and scrutinizes it for telltale patterns.
I look for the change in the space pattern, for moisture patterns, and look for little specks to come all through it that's the same color as the bottom part here. Now this one is showing more or less today's weather, which is nice and clear outside. Now, bear oil doesn't only just predict the local weather, it predicts it pretty well nationwide. Like this is a typical tornado pattern, rather heavy one, which the tornadoes will probably happen in the Midwest from the position of it in the jar, and they'll probably happen either today or tomorrow.
On the same day Wimsett was interviewed in June 1984, a total of 10 tornadoes struck Kansas, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin. The next day there were 7 more, like this one. Bear fat weather prediction? Believe it or not.
For romantics, a candle creates an occasion for poetry, an opportunity to discover in its dancing flame a host of images to haunt the imagination. For scientists, it's just a fire. Where poets see fantasies in the flames, they see facts. For example, the fumes rising from the flame. For scientists, it is a gas that remains flammable after the flame is extinguished. To prove that, they contend that you can blow out the candle and reignite it without touching a flame to the wick, merely by passing a flame through the rising fumes. Be careful not to burn yourself. Science that looks like magic. Believe it or not.
You've seen them devour apartment buildings, people, even entire towns. Now the voracious little demons are taking their terror to the far reaches of space. Critters 4, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Now stay tuned for Dark Shadows next on the Sci-Fi Channel.